Hi, this is Stuart from Fireball Tools. Here you can see my teammates, Tyler, Ethan, and Jaden. We love playing Dungeons & Dragons, but wanted to improve this experience for newer Dungeon Masters. A Dungeon Master is in charge of telling the players what is happening, and they are responsible for making the world come to life. Imagine, as you walk along the winding path through the dense forest, the sound of rustling leaves and snapping twigs fills the air. Suddenly, you hear a loud, guttural roar that echoes through the trees. You look ahead and see a group of fierce barbarians emerging from the shadows. Their weapons glint in the sunlight. They appear to be heavily armed and dangerous. Their eyes lock onto you and your friends with fierce determination. As they approach you, you realize you're about to face a fierce battle against these savage warriors. Brace yourselves, adventurers, for the fight of your lives is about to begin. Hey everyone, I just wanted to quickly give you a little bit more information on how much data that we have to deal with as a Dungeon Master. Here I have a character sheet with me, and this is assigned to each individual player. They have their own character sheet. And this is a lot of information to deal with, especially when you're also trying to manage things like creatures, spells, and traps. And you have to keep it all straight. So instead of pulling up these different stats on different websites and web pages, we wanted to simplify that. And that's where Fireball Tools comes in. All right, thank you for coming to this demo of Fireball Tools. I've gone ahead and made us an account and signed us in. And here on the home screen, you can see it prompt the user to import character data from D&D Beyond. We chose this and wanted this as a feature because D&D Beyond is a website where the majority of players manage their character information. Gone ahead and pasted a link to one of my characters and hit submit. Now you can see once it fetches the data, it doesn't fetch the data for just my player or for my character. It will fetch the data for all of the characters that are in his group. I can go ahead now and toggle to import the characters that I want, but for now I'm just going to import all of them. Additionally, if we want to see more information on the characters, other than their health or a little place to add their notes, we can manage their health here. But if we want to see more information, we can head over to the Players tab. Here we can delete players if they decide not to show up from now on or their character dies. We can also see their level and a bunch of additional information. If we mouse over it, we can get a little bit of more information on what these stats do. And down at the bottom, we can add more players from D&D Beyond. This lets us manage our party after we've already created it. So going back to the home screen, there's a little bit of more information and things we can do here. So say we want to pull up rules for a goblin. We can go ahead and search for that, and it will pull up rules for the monster that we search for. Additionally, we can search for spells and items. So now that we're dealing with monsters, let's go and head over to the encounters page. This page is used for players who want to manage their different combat scenarios. Here you can type in how many players we have. We had 4, and they were all level 6. From here, it will calculate how difficult each monster will be, and tell us what the threshold for experience is that to fall into each category. We can go ahead and sort by difficulty here, and add some easy monsters. But let's say we want to add a dragon to the fight. So up here we can go ahead and search for dragon. And let's say this one looks good here. Let's add a red dragon wormling to the campaign or to the fight. As you notice, it will then adjust the fight information down here for us automatically. And we can go ahead and save this encounter to reference later. We can also, underneath this, generate random encounters. So say we want a hard encounter with a squad of monsters. We can go ahead and generate that. and it will generate us a fight where the players have to fight 5 Anhags. We can go ahead now and load the previous encounter where we fight the red dragon. And this lets us manage our encounters however we want. Going back to the home screen, we can then select the encounter here. And from here, we can manage the turn order for our players. We can adjust the order that they go in just by editing what the dragon rolls here. So let's say he rolled a 22. If we hit that and edit our players' rolls, then they will go ahead and update automatically into the order that they will fight in. Then we can go through the turn order and it will mark us and tell us whose turn it currently is, as well as what round of combat it is. Each combat round is 6 seconds, so that way the DM doesn't have to keep track of this. Additionally, it will also show us the information for the red dragon wormling. There's also a small portion of our app that lets us keep track of notes for various things. As a DM, there's a lot to remember, so we wanted a small place where the DM could take notes and refer to these later. Thank you for watching this demo of Fireball Tools. Our project is a C#.NET backend with a React frontend and an SQL database. We used .NET because most of us had some experience with it, and it can connect easily to both React and an SQL database. Our application handled a lot of data, and we wanted to be sure that that was sound. While you might not have seen it on the front end, there were a lot of monsters that we had to handle, and character data could get really big really quickly. We chose React because we wanted to grow our knowledge as developers, and none of us had used it before. It's a great library, and we wanted to keep growing as developers. As far as our other libraries go, we decided to choose Axios for connecting our front end and back end data. We used React Router for routing on our web page. We used React Tables to easily format the table containing our monster data, as well as any other tables we might use. From there, we used React Feather for finding simple icons. We used Bootstrap for a better looking front end, and Quill.js for note taking. There were several users that we interviewed for user studies. They helped us refine our front end, as well as come up with additional information we should include for new Dungeon Masters to help them understand the game better. We'd like to thank Jordan Henriksen, Justin Rivas, and George Middleton for helping us shoot this video. And thank you all for coming and listening to our presentation.